Mr. Chairman, it appears we have a quorum. If you wanted to get started, we are missing, I think, 2 members at the moment, so it's up to you.
Well, why don't we go ahead and we do have a quorum, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to call to order the Independence TIF Commission. Mr. Elena, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Brew?
Here.
Commissioner John? Commissioner Cormendi?
Here. Here.
Commissioner Hoffman?
Here.
Commissioner Shirk?
Here.
Commissioner Clifford?
Here.
Commissioner Schulte?
Here.
Commissioner Sampson? Commissioner Swanson?
Present.
Commissioner Potter?
Here.
And Chairman Cooney.
Here. All right, very good. The minutes from the April 8th meeting were sent out with the agenda notice. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
That was Mr. Brew.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you. That motion carries. This is the public hearing that was previously, we're reopening. It was previously continued from the April 8th, 2021 date, and it relates to the First Amendment to the Crackerneck Creek Tax Increment Financing Plan. Is there any additional public comment at this time? Hearing none, we will move on to, do we have any staff report tonight, Mr. Elena?
Unless Mr. David Martin had anything to add or reiterate from last time.
Not really anything other than an update. The resolution that is before you tonight has been amended so that it accounts for a couple of continuances in the recitals, and then also includes an additional section at the end called Conditions of Recommendation, which makes the recommendation to City Council contingent on the capital contribution payments that had been previously discussed, which are attached to the resolution as Exhibit A. But other than that, nothing to report.
And are there any comments or questions from the commissioner? All right, well, and then it would seem to be appropriate to see if there are any discussions with regard to anything that the commissioners would like to say at this point. Mr. Martin, this is, I mean, we had continued this initially, so there was some conversation with other stakeholders with regard to the TIF plan. Then there was a subsequent continuance to make sure that that we could effectuate the agreement. I mean, is it your understanding that the other stakeholders with regard to the to this proposal are all in agreement?
I'll have to defer to city staff, to Jordan and to Bill on that, as they were the ones that were having conversations with the stakeholders.
Well,
All right.
I certainly don't want to speak for any of the stakeholders. And I note that Mr. Potter is present tonight. What we have before you is presented at the last meeting, a proposal whereby the applicant would make a capital contribution of $150,000 distributed in a manner as set forth in Exhibit A. And I believe and again, Mr. Potter, I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but I believe in talking with Mr. Potter that met with the kind of the stated criteria or requirements as were previously discussed. And so I think from our perspective, I think, yes, it met the requirements as set forth to us to go back and try to come up with a reasonable solution. This solution gets dollars immediately into the pockets of the stated taxing jurisdictions, the school district, mental health, junior college, library, and sheltered workshop. I think, again, I'm not going to speak for the county representatives, but I believe at the last meeting, they had both indicated that there was not a need for the county to receive a capital contribution. They were looking to make sure that the taxing jurisdictions were treated fairly. And then finally, I guess, with respect to the city will continue to receive, as was in the original proposal, the $1.3 million in pilot payments for the remaining life of the TIF.
All right, thank you. Mr. Potter, do you want to weigh in?
I don't have much to add. I think Mr. Moore did a good job of stating what happened. There was a good dialogue amongst the development attorney and myself and the other people that I represent. And so, you know, I feel like this was a process that progressed as we would have hoped. So, so yeah. I mean, I think as the agreement was represented was what we discussed, and it was a good process.
Mr. Chair, this is Commissioner Cale Clifford. If I could speak just briefly.
Certainly.
I would echo Mr. Potter's statements in regards to the recitation of what's happened. I also wanted to thank Independent City staff for their work on this and working with Mr. Potter on behalf of the taxing jurisdictions. And at least from my perspective, I think this is a good resolution and it provides an opportunity to make the other taxing jurisdictions other than the county, Mr. Moore is correct, that we are fine not receiving any of the benefit from this agreement, but allowing the other taxing jurisdictions to be made whole or closer to whole, and then allowing this project to move forward to the Independent City Council where they can make a decision on whether or not they want to include residential properties in this project and if they want them to be part of this. And so I appreciate that. And I just wanted to thank Mr. Potter and the Independent City staff and the representatives of the developer for their work on this. And I think we do have a better product today than we had a month ago.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford. Any other comments?
Yeah, this is Kurt Swanson on behalf of Blue Springs School District.
Mr. Swanson?
And thank you. While the product right now, where it stands is improved from where it was, it's a matter of principle with the district. Just approving residential TIFs is that we can't really support, but in this situation, we're going to just abstain. So when the voting comes, we're going to just be on record as an abstention. So we'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Other comment? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, this is Troy Schulte. I'd make the motion to approve the agreement as presented to the commission.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Shirk. Any further discussion?
Opportunity.
Yes.
This, Mr. Brewer, shouldn't our motions be a recommendation to the city council?
I understood Mr. Schulte's motion to be essentially the draft resolution that's been provided and circulated to the commission members. Which of course would include that recommendation to the city council, Mr. Brew.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to go on record to say that I don't agree with this whatsoever. I think that the City of Independence has enough apartment complexes that aren't even full yet, and another one I don't think we really need. And I am going to have to go on record to say that I do not agree with this whatsoever.
And that was Mr. Dan Martin, is that correct?
It is correct, yes.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Mr. Elena, would you call the roll, please, then?
Yeah, let me actually read the title of this resolution. This is a resolution of the Tax Increment Financing Commission of Independence, Missouri, recommending that the City Council approve the First Amendment to the Crackerneck Creek Tax Increment Financing Plan. Mr. Brew?
Yes.
Ms. Cormendi?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part of that question?
I'm just asking for your vote.
To pass it or not pass it?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, no, I don't agree.
Okay. Commissioner Martin?
No, I do not agree.
Commissioner Shirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Clifford?
Yes.
Commissioner Schulte?
Yes.
Commissioner Swanson?
Abstain?
Commissioner Potter?
Abstain.
And Chairman Cooney.
Yes.
That motion carries with 5 affirmative and 2 negative votes.
And 2 abstentions.
And 2 abstentions.
Very good. I don't believe there is any other business to come before the commission tonight.
That is correct.
So we are adjourned. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan, can I ask you a question about that economic?
Yeah.
Is that going to be is that a Zoom meeting or is that a?
Yeah, it'll be either GoToMeeting or Teams.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure it was virtual.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right.
I appreciate your help tonight. Take care.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.